What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, I was just wondering, because I went online, I said, let me see if I see any news, anything new about, Usyk and Fury's rematch. And I know that the rematch is scheduled for December, if it actually does take place. And I was reading, like watching certain, not just looking at the videos and reading the dates and stuff. So everything was from like a month ago. So the only updated thing I saw attached to their names was a guy from 5 days ago. He took that video, that footage. You remember when Fury was after the fight? I think he had like that yellow T-shirt on, and he was punching the bag, saying he's coming back for his redemption. And the guy is just talking about Fury's career and what Fury wants to do, but he basically, there was no new footage. Now, a lot of people though are saying that they don't think that the fight's gonna happen. They think Fury's gonna pull out. Now, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if he did that, but I don't know. The one thing that I do think about too is, Fury was a lot more quiet in this build-up to fighting Usyk than he ever was. The only thing he did was when he did speak, he was extremely disrespectful and insults and all of that type of nonsense. But I believe the advantage psychologically going into this rematch goes to Usyk. And I believe just like psychologically going into the first fight, it went to Usyk. Usyk was cool and calm. Usyk never broke character. He was himself. Fury was trying to be a bully. He was trying to do all this tough stuff, and he couldn't bully him, and you could see it getting to him. So going into a rematch, both guys doing film study. Usyk, to me, being a smarter fighter between the two. Tyson Fury, if he understands, he has to stay behind that jab and keep it going. But the whole thing is, if you make the big man work, he's going to tire out. And Usyk has shown he has a much better gas tank than Fury does. So not only that, he knows that not only can I hurt him, I can knock this man out. At the end of the day, I mean, especially when you hit a guy and hurt him with one punch. Okay, so when I look at that, I'm thinking, damn, I haven't seen anything. And Usyk has never been a guy making a bunch of videos and, but Fury, always clowning, running his mouth, always in front of a camera. He hasn't been doing that. So I believe that, when a person is trying to get focused and refocused on things, they tend to overthink things. They try to pump themselves as much as they can. And if you have to not do certain things that you were used to doing, it's more than likely because you don't feel as comfortable. Like all this shit he was talking, not saying he's not going to talk shit in the rematch after they start doing press conference stuff, maybe even the lead up. But, Fury is always showing his face, and he wasn't doing it nearly as much in the build up to that first fight. And right now, going into the rematch, we seeing the video of him being pissy drunk, staggering around, and to the point he fell out. I think Usyk is going to really beat the shit out of Tyson Fury, where he probably will close the show on him this time and knock him out. And really, the thing about Fury is, for him to be much bigger and thinking that, not even thinking, but trying to convince Usyk and the world and himself to believe that, hey, he's just a little middleweight and all of that. You don't fight a middleweight on the back foot. So now the only thing is people are thinking, wondering, is he going to try to maul him like he did Wilder? And that style is not going to work, man. It's not going to work because Fury's going to run into something. And Usyk is too smart, too elusive for that. You're not going to trap him with your jab hand, leave it out, and then try to club him with that right hand. Usyk is not going for that. So for Tyson Fury, I'm looking at this like, man, here's the thing. I believe it's more of a chance that he'll fight Usyk in his rematch than it is for him to fight Anthony Joshua, even should he win. Because you got to remember, too, Usyk beat him the first time. So if Fury wins this time, and this is all again for Undisputed, more than likely there'll be a trilogy. Okay, and if it's not, well, if it's not in the contract, then it's not like it has to be. Okay, but it's like it would just be 1-1. So I believe Usyk would definitely want the rematch because he's the champ now. So there would more likely be a trilogy if he was to lose. Well, if that was to happen, okay, unless AJ beats Dubois, becomes the mandatory, and they enforce that or something, or but bottom line, if that was to happen, well, as a matter of fact, well, he has all the belts except for the IBF. So if that was to happen, Usyk, I mean, so if that was to happen, and Usyk wanted a third fight, because say he lost, now it's like, okay, he beat me, I beat him. Now this is for, let's do it again. At the end of the day, it would put AJ in a position, him where, okay, I have the IBF title now, and I'm waiting for the winner of Usyk and Fury, right? Otherwise, it's like AJ's not going to sit out and just wait, because his fight's in December, and then September, then December you have these two. So this would be a thing of, all right, now we talk about a whole nother year, because we're talking about 2025, them fighting in December. Okay, if it was a third fight, the next fight wouldn't be until like spring. You understand what I mean? So if we're going to do that, AJ could wait it out, or he might just decide to fight somebody else, who knows, right? But I don't think Fury, I know he doesn't want to fight AJ. He didn't want to fight Usyk. And then you got to understand, you did all this talk and got hurt badly by this much smaller guy, right? That you call a middleweight. Now, you saw what AJ can do, right? You know what AJ can do. And you saw what he did to two former opponents of yours that you struggled with. And AJ destroyed them. And we know AJ can crack. So now, you're going to go in there and go from a guy who's not the biggest puncher, but punches. I told you, people sleeping talking about Usyk can't punch, but those guys you think can't hurt you. See, it's the guys that got, look, Usyk is a boxer. He doesn't depend on just power. Usyk doesn't really sit down on his punches. There's certain punches, he'll like, if he jab and then he throws, the shot behind it, he'll turn into it. But I mean, like, for the most part, he just tries to outpoint you first. And when he decides to sit on his punches, of course, that's when you generate more power. But Usyk is not like a devastating puncher, but he punches hard enough to get these guys respect. And all these guys that claim they're going to jump on him and push him and make him fight, you see what happens. So just imagine, what I'm saying is the concentration that it's taking Fury to try to get in the best shape he can to beat Usyk. And he failed the first time. I think he failed the second time. And in fact, if he lost the second time, does it make sense for Anthony Joshua to fight him? Even for people, yeah, but for Britain, but okay. But AJ lost twice to Usyk. Don't you think he'd want to get his belts back and be able to say he beat Usyk, and get that over with? Okay. So now you're going to go from that guy to a guy that punches extremely hard with both hands. And not only that, you're going to have to get in every bit the best shape of your life, even for that as well. And the difference is, if it only takes one from Usyk, it's only going to take one from AJ. That's the thing. And what I'm getting at is, with all the bravado and all the talk that Fury does, I feel like his confidence isn't the same, and it won't be. His confidence in beating Usyk wasn't the same. The shit talking he does is what he does. But if you think about it, listen to what he was actually saying. You can't critique Usyk's career and make sense. Like, you can't shit on his resume. You can't look at what he's done and say he ain't beat nobody. You can't do that. So only thing he could do is resort to call him a little ugly, dirty teeth, bug-eyed little man, a little foreigner. That's all he was doing. And I'm like, look, trying to headbutt him and all that stuff and trying to get in his face, and none of that stuff worked. So it's not going to work in the rematch. But what I think, if Usyk is sharp and on point like he's supposed to, I think Usyk might stop him this time. And there'll never be an AJ versus Fury fight. If Fury was to win, I don't think we get an AJ versus Fury fight. I don't think the money that he would even care enough. I just think he'd walk away. I don't think he fights AJ. And I think that as far as his confidence goes, and him not being able to bully fighters, you see a difference. Now it goes to show you the difference between the mentality of Usyk and other fighters versus Wilder's mentality. Because I told you guys he's not going to fight Dillian White, which was the next person he fought after Wilder. I told you he wasn't going to fight Dillian White the same way he fought Wilder. Dillian White showed how one-dimensional he is, and he went in there and basically did much of nothing. So you can say Wilder put up a better fight. Wilder fights went longer. He put up a better fight because he was able to land some shots, than Dillian did. But at the same time, he still, at no point did he decide to try to walk him down like he did on Wilder. He was able to catch him and get him out of there. He didn't fight Usyk that way. And I told you guys, I'm like, it's because he knows Wilder cannot box. And he knows that first off, and Wilder can't box going forward. He can't box going backwards. He just is a puncher. And he doesn't have a strong ring IQ at all. So the best thing you do is take away his best weapon. And that's standing there in front of you, trying to find openings. He will move and lay back, make him uncomfortable, make him go backwards. And he took that away from him. And it was that easy because Wilder doesn't know how to fight. And if you compare what Wilder did with Joseph Parker, right? If Wilder told you ahead of time, I'm going to fight Joseph Parker by dancing around, being on my toes, and just moving, what would you have said? You wouldn't have believed him, would you? Right? You'd have thought, well, why would you do that? You're not a boxer, Wilder, you're a puncher. You can't fight back it up. So if he thought he was showing different levels to his game, right, and he's trying to catch Joseph Parker leaning over and then catch him, well, you can't fight backing up. So the transition of you putting combinations together is not there. You're just used to going back and then turning into the right hand when somebody overcommits, throwing their shot at you, trying to land their straight right or straight left if they're southpaw, But you understand what I'm saying? That's where, when you look at Fury, everybody starts talking about, like Fury and Wilder, they were saying that they were the two best two, and then AJ was number 3. They were saying all that, right? But when you look at it, the majority of the hype surrounding Fury came from him beating Wilder. Just like the majority of the hype came from Wilder was the fact that he fought Fury, especially the first fight, to a draw. And then, all the glove gate stuff, whatever. But then, what I'm saying, if you look at it, now when you see Fury fight other guys, and the fact that hardly nobody, listen to the guys that talk sport, right? Because we've heard them get at Fury. They got at Frank Warren. They have spoken their minds about things, but none of them thought that Usyk had a chance to win. The majority of the boxing fans said Usyk had no chance. He's too small. He's not going to win. Fury's too good. Then we see the opposite happen. Wasn't Aries telling you guys the whole time Usyk is a better boxer than Tyson Fury? Fury has his size and his reach as an advantage, and if he uses it right, he can cause a problem for Usyk as far as him getting in. The problem is, Fury's flat-footed, man. He doesn't move the way he used to. So this new style that he has, that you guys are looking at, even when he is moving, that style he's doing that you guys are calling his new style, it's not going to work on Usyk. And you see who the better fighter is. How do you go the distance with a middleweight? How? How do you go the distance with a guy that can't punch? So now we kill all that whole, I never believed it, but you kill that whole thing about Holyfield would have been too small, or Muhammad Ali would have been too small for all that nonsense for Fury. No, they wouldn't have. Like I said, certain styles with certain shorter guys, Fury, if he can use his reach and keep them at bay, might be able to win a boring points decision by keeping himself out of harm's reach and pretty much not throwing much, a lot of grabbing in the hole and that type of thing. But other than that, no. Nah. So going into a rematch, man, I really what now what's gonna happen is what's gonna happen. But pretty much what I would like to see Is Usyk put an end to Fury? Send him, pack him off. Okay, let him go. He done made his money. Go on, drive off into the sunset. See AJ beat Dubois. AJ and Usyk do it again. Now, this version of AJ that we've been getting, this version, and pretty much whatever happens from there happens. But that's what I would like to see happen. I don't think James Dubois beats Anthony Joshua. I mean, you never know what could happen. Puncher's chance, that's about it. But other than that, should AJ beat Usyk? I see a rematch being there. Only way I don't see a rematch happening is if Usyk is beaten to the point where he's convinced that I won't beat this version of AJ. That's about it. And then you have to look at that and say, well, he beat AJ twice, but if it's Usyk that turns down a rematch and just decides he don't like, man, then hey, you know what I mean? He never made AJ quit. You understand what I'm saying? AJ fought him back-to-back twice. So, yeah, but anyway, that turns into a whole story, like a very interesting story when you compare, because then when you look at the road that led to AJ Usyk 1 and 2, then you see what leads to the third fight. And even if they fought two times and AJ beat him both times, and then you say, well, AJ beat him twice, he beat AJ twice, and like I said, then people just going to pretty much have to say they were the two best of their era. That's all. And then now, what I'm saying, that's their story is one thing. When you look at it, it will have a very interesting story and history together. Whereas what could have been with AJ and Fury, it won't be. It really won't be. But yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Like, they don't think it's going to be a rematch. They think Fury's going to pull out. I don't think he wants to fight AJ at all. I know he doesn't really want to fight him, and he didn't really want to fight Usyk, like I said. But he definitely doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua, man. And his silence shows that, you know, the people, you can look at it and say, well, he's focused and he's concentrating. Okay, yeah. But the fact of the matter is, for him to feel like he needs to be this focused and this dedicated like he did in the first fight, he was quiet. One video might pop up here and there, him, like I said, insulting Usyk or just saying some shit, but like, it wasn't the same as how we used to seeing Fury constantly running his mouth. I'm not into that, and I don't need to see it, but I notice it. So, you know, the absence of it. It's July right now, and I feel like their fight is a ways to go. And that's why even when I saw the video of them saying he's in the training already for the rematch, it's like the rematch is not until December. You know what I'm saying? So you think he's going to train his hardest for Usyk now? And damn January? July? Come on. And basically, that footage was a couple of days after the fight. Oh, you know, no. He's not in training camp for Usyk right now. And this is what I'm saying, why I'm saying that, because like the way people bring this fake news is like, damn, so you mean to tell me you training hard right now for a fight that's not gonna happen until December? Nah. But hey, I wouldn't be shocked if he did cancel. But should he go through with it? Why not? You said you want the rematch, so cool. But should he go through with it and he lose? What does that say for Fury? You see how I tell you guys, if you look at the fight with... See, and that's the thing about Wilder. Wilder doesn't have wins over any elite guys. So when he steps up to the elite guys, he loses. Now with Fury, it's like, okay, his wins, like his win, the Derek Chisora wins. You know, Chisora he was a puncher that came to fight. Klitschko, to me, is still his biggest win. Not Wilder, Klitschko. I think Klitschko is still his biggest win. He never gave him the rematch. Okay? Wilder's never fought Klitschko. Well, when you look at Fury and, you know, his win against Chisora, Dillian White, like Wilder, all these fights were like years apart. You understand? It wasn't like he was it's just years apart. So Now you look at him, and it's like we thought he was on top of the world when he beat Wilder. Then he went in there and struggled tremendously with a guy that had no previous boxing experience, right? So then he goes in there and he loses to Usyk, right? So the way that people are ranking Fury and looked at him, that's changed as well. And that's why I said to you guys, there was a time where the very top guys can all say they all fought each other. You're not seeing that in most divisions right now. So now when you start to fight these different top level guys, people start to see kinks in your armor. Why? Well, you're not as good as we thought you were. So remember how everybody went through trying to bash AJ and saying that, oh, AJ's not the same, right? Isn't it funny how the same fighters that was making those claims and being cocky and arrogant, now look at where they stand. Look at where they are in their careers, right? So now you look at Fury, you got to think, well, damn, wait a minute. He lost to Usyk. Like, he lost. He got hurt by Usyk. He could have gotten knocked out by Usyk. What does that tell you? It's easy to say, I can beat him, I'll beat him, or that person I can beat easily, I'll knock him out. It's easy to say that. What happens, you get in the ring. And then, people are going, now, Fury's not what I thought he was. I've been telling you, I never see Fury the way everybody else do. Then you got another group of people saying, oh, he's getting old now. Okay, y'all, but he's 2 years younger than Usyk. So I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. Because, for one, if Usyk was to lose the rematch, y'all not going to say, oh, it's because Usyk is 38. No, y'all just going to say Fury just was the better man this time. That's all. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of an interesting thing to me because I'm like, wow, nothing new. No talking, no nothing. Okay. So anyway, the fight's is a ways from now. If it does happen, it's a ways from now. So I just thought about it though. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Fury might just get cold feet, end up getting the cut over the other eye next time? Y'all think he might pull out? But if he does pull out, he's not going to fight AJ. Why would AJ want to fight the loser or the guy that pulled out the fight? Which would be both, because you lost to Usyk and then you pull out. What does AJ get? Just to say we're doing this for the British public, and from what I understand, a whole lot of the British people are really disgusted with Fury after all that shit he was talking and stuff he was, and he go out and perform like that and then make excuses and lie and say he won the fight. Like, people get tired of your shit. And to be honest with you, for all the people that wanted to see Undisputed on British soil, we understood that. But I think now they just like, you know what, the hell with Fury. Yeah. And if you don't beat Usyk, then it won't happen anyway. But I don't think he wants any parts of Anthony Joshua. And then so what happens if it and for AJ, it will be like super sweet for him if he did win, because now you get revenge at the guy that beat you twice. And not only that, all the belts on the line once again. Well, last time it was for it wasn't for Undisputed, it was unification. This time it will be for everything, because if AJ beats Dubois like he should, he'll have that IBF, and then Usyk has all the other ones, and then this will be for Undisputed. So AJ's journey would have went from him being two-time unified champion, aiming to be undisputed, just to end up finally becoming undisputed, and against who of all people? The same guy that beat him twice. So his story would be like, he would have a incredible story to tell about his journey, man. And so for AJ to want to fight till he's 37, I don't know how soon he turns 34. If he's 34, or is he 34 already? I thought he was 33. But either way, if he's 34, then he has 3 more years left, and if he wants to do that. But he that would be a great story for his story would be great. Like, his career story would be a great career story. And honestly, it's just like, it's like running. I'm jogging, right? I don't know where I'm going, but I turned, followed instructions, and then somewhere I made a wrong turn. But ultimately, little by little, I found my way back home. That's exactly what his story would be. That's exactly what it'd be. And then you figure his fight is in September. So if AJ's 34 right now, and his fight is in September, right? The next time Anthony Joshua fights, if he wants to keep it going 3-4 times a year type thing, somewhere around early January. Yeah, somewhere around early January, early or mid January. And not saying that that's gonna happen, I don't know. But bottom line, what I'm saying is, I don't know when Anthony Joshua's birthday is. But what I'm saying is, by the time him and Usyk fights, he may be 35 years old, unless he just turned 34. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, that would mean, how many times a year is he gonna fight if he wants to fight until he's 37? I don't know. You see, so if he keep the streak going of three fights a year at least, if he wins all those fights, especially and they're against the Joseph Parkers of the world, I don't know what Zhang is, Zhilei Zhang, or who else is left out there as far as that's been out there during his era, Joe Joyce or whatever. I don't know. And that's the thing. Should he become undisputed? I don't know if we're going to see 3 times a year, maybe twice, maybe 2 times a year if he becomes undisputed. I don't know, but it wouldn't hurt to keep sharp 3 times a year. That wouldn't hurt at all. But yeah, man, this whole situation means he'd have a great story. Like in other words, and then too, if you look at Fury, Usyk's story, his story too, because he coming from cruiserweight, went to heavyweight, then went to cruiserweight, come back to heavyweight, right? So weight wise, yeah, I fought at heavyweight before. Now he's cruiserweight. Come back the return to this weight class, become undisputed at cruiserweight, then to become undisputed at heavyweight. And then too, even with AJ winning, it's like, well, he beat me twice, I beat him twice, and I was undisputed in 2 different weight classes. AJ, 2-time unified, 3-time champion, 1-time undisputed. Come on, like that's yeah, because if he beats Dubois against his IBF, then that makes him 3-time champion. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's so funny that we're looking at this situation, because it's like the way the story was told a long time ago is that Fury's career was going to end, him number 1, Wilder number 2, Usyk number 3. Then AJ and whoever else. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all think that he's going to fight Usyk in the rematch, or you think he's going to pull out? And do y'all think that his confidence is shaking since that first fight, knowing that, damn, not only did this motherfucker tag me, but he hurt me with 1 punch? Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings out the people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.